Hi everyone, it is Miss Chelsea with the Mount Holly Branch Library. I hope you are all doing well and that everyone is staying safe. Today it is time for another teen book talk, and for this month we are going to talk about three new dystopian teen novels. So we're going to go ahead and get started with that. Make sure that you pay attention to the screen. I will have the covers pop up as well as the author Twitter handle on the other side. So you can follow them to get information about any new books that they come out with if you particularly enjoyed hearing about the ones that I'm going over today. So today we're going to start off with The Gracier by Kim Liggett. This book came out in October 2019 and had a rating of 4.14 out of 5 on Goodreads. So that's actually a pretty good score. So this book is about Tierney James, who is getting ready to turn 16 years old, and unfortunately, where she lives, that is not always a great thing. So she lives in Garner County, and in Garner County, girls of 16 years are released into the wild, where they're banished into the wild actually, until they can get rid of their magic, because they all the 16-year-old girls have this magic power, but they don't want them to have it. So they're banished into the wild until they no longer have it and they can return home and get married. 16-year-old Tyranny has always dreamed of a better life where society doesn't pit friend against friend or woman against woman. But as her own Gracier, this is what they call it when they turn 16, their Gracier turns or draws near, she quickly realizes that it's not just the brutal elements of the wild or the dangers of going into the wild that she must fear. Their greatest threat may very well just be each other in society. So, this book has been described to examine the complex and sometimes twisted relationship between girls and when girls evolve into women and just the difficult decisions that they have to make between in this type of society. So I think this one has a very original and interesting take on, a lot of teens in their 16 year and just a different take on dystopian novels altogether. It's not just about end of times or anything. It's just about turning 16 years old. All right, so next we have Sky Hunter by Marie Lu. Now, this is one of my favorite authors. You've probably heard of her in the teen area. She is also the author of Legend and Warcross, um, the whole Legend series, super popular. So, this book came out in September of this year, 2020, and this book had a rating of 4.17 out of 5 on Goodreads. So in this book, it is about the Carinthia Federation, and this federation has conquered dozens of countries. It has only left one as the last free nation in the world, and that's called Mara. So refugees try to flee to those borders to escape a fate worse than death. So what the Federation does is they transform people into mutant war beasts known as ghosts, and then they use those to attack Mara. And in Mara, there is an elite fighting force that's trained to stop the ghost, and these are called strikers. But as the number of the ghosts starts to grow, the Carinthia closes in, and it seems like defeat is inevitable. But one striker refuses to give up hope, and that one striker is Talon. Now, Talon was robbed of her voice in her home, and she knows firsthand the brutality of the Federation. She knows that their cruelty has forced her and her mother to seek asylum in a country that considers their people repugnant. She only has comfort with just a handful of fellow other strikers who have pledged their lives to one another and who are just determined to keep that federation back at all cost. However, when she meets a mysterious prisoner, she senses that there's more to him than meets the eye. Is he a spy from the Federation, or is he the weapon that could save them all? So I'm very excited to read this one. I've always enjoyed Marie Lou's books, and I think this one is just going to be a great dystopian follow-up. And this is actually going to be a series, and this is the first one in the series. All right, so our last book is called Sanctuary by Paula Mendoza and Abby Sher. So this book actually takes place in the very near future of the year 2032, where all citizens in this year are chipped and tracked on their location. So everywhere they go, from going to the bus to work to the grocery store, everyone's location is always known, and it is almost impossible to survive as an undocumented immigrant. But that is exactly what 16-year-old Valley is doing. So her and her family have carved out a very happy life in a very small town in Vermont. However, when her mom's counterfeit chip starts to malfunction and the deportation forces raid their town, they have to flee. So they're on the run. They're trying to get to Valley's Aunt Luna's house in California because California is known as a sanctuary state that is currently being walled off from the rest of the country. However, her mother was detained before their journey really even began, so now Valley must carry on with her younger brother across the entire country to make it to safety before it's too late. So I do like this book because the author was a co-founder of the Women's March, and this is her YA debut in a dystopian where, a very strong female character lead is, pushing to save her brother and get her brother out of this xenophobic government to find a sanctuary. I think there's a lot of stuff going on today in society, and I think that this is a very realistic but yet different take on things. So again, I really enjoy the fact that this is, only in year 2032, but it's still different enough to be classified as dystopian. All right, guys, I hope everyone is doing well. Again, please try to remember to stay safe out there. I know things are a little wonky right now, but just remember to stay safe. We miss you guys so much at the Mount Holly Library. There is some progress getting done. If you haven't had a moment to walk by or take a ride by just to see, there's been a lot of progress on the outside and the inside, and we are just so excited to show everyone what is going on. I hope that you will reach out if you need anything. If you would like, send me an email or comment below your favorite dystopian novel or any book that you've read recently that you really, really like or you even really dislike, and just tell me why. Have a great day. Bye, everyone.